everyone. So this is Alea A. Alvinia, and today we will be talking about the teacher in classroom and the community. So, what is the teacher in the first century? But before that, let's talk about first the 21st century classroom. So the 21st century classroom, the teacher facilitates by directing students to reach learning sources and asking students to demonstrate what they know and are able to do. So in other words, this could be called also as learning by doing. So it involves hands-on activities, building critical thinking, communication skills, collaborations, and creativity. So there are four 21st century skills. So these are the effective communication skills, learning and innovation skills, information media technology skills, and lastly, life and career goals. First, talk about the effective communication skills. So it involves modeling clear instructions in hybrid settings. So it is important to set a clear instructions to our students for them to be able to do what we are trying to said and what they are going to do. Next is fostering students' debates and using digital platforms for collaborative feedback in subjects like science and social studies. So, fostering students' debates. So, in debates, we can see that in debates, uh, uh, students will be able to practice their communication skills, and not just only the communication skills but also their critical thinking, because in debates it's more on communication skills and critical thinking skills. Next is these effective communication skills. It builds students' abilities to articulate opinions crisply and work in teams, essential for real-world success. So, for example, there are teams like a certain team divided into a three. There are some researchers. There are members that is a speaker and a note taker. Why? Because by these uh, by these ideas or by this method, they were able to practice collaboration, and not just also collaboration but also a practicing in communication skills. So the next is learning and innovation skills. So in learning and innovation skills, through project-based activities or refined collaboratively, building a new world readiness. So the teacher, so a 21st century teacher or the 21st century skills, it incorporates a lessons in relation to real world things. So for example, in experimentation or in science, students brainstorm innovative solutions like using recycled materials for planters, research soil types and native plants. So this will helps develop a four C's. So the four C's are the creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. Then the next is information, media technology, and skills. So the first is a visual literacy. So what is visual literacy? So a visual literacy is the ability to interpret and make meaning from information presented in a form of image. So a student or a teacher gives a particular image, then the students shall be able to make an interpretation on what he or she sees in that particular image. So next is a information literacy. So in information literacy is the ability to identify what information is needed. So in information literacy, a teacher have the ability to identify what information is needed to a particular student. So it involves beyond basic research skills to analyze information. So in addition, information literacy, it involves recognizing the need for information, finding reliable resources, evaluating their credibility, and using ethically to make informed decisions. Next is technological literacy. So technological literacy, it is the ability to appropriately use the technology to communicate, solve the problem, create information, and acquire knowledge and skills. So in addition, technological literacy, it builds on understanding and using digital tools responsibly to solve problems and to communicate effectively. So it is a key skill of modern education, especially in classroom tech integrating tech for diverse learning. So the next 21st century skills is life and career skills. So what is this? So life and career skills, these manage goals and time, and also manages projects, and also it teaches us self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, conflict resolution, and healthy relationship building to foster student well-being. So to elaborate more, life and career skills is refers to the practical abilities to help individuals navigate daily challenges, personal growth, and personal career and personal success effectively. And these skills bridges everyday living with workplace demands, fostering independence and adaptability. So for example, in a classroom setting, a teacher gives a activity that is a role play, and a role play, it talks about a practical abilities or practical applications in navigating daily challenges in personal growth, our professional success, and then our development as a person. So a teacher should integrate mga real life examples, real life practical experiences for the students to have a goal. So let's move on to the characteristics of a 21st century teacher. So first is the adapter. So what does it mean? So it says there that a teacher is the adapter because teacher every day customize lessons that fits to the students needs, backgrounds, and pace, such as modifying science activities. Then the next is the communicator. So why does a teacher called the communicator? Because a teacher is called communicator because they convey ideas and provide feedback and build rapport with students, parents, and even their colleagues. So they have a information that being shared every day to their students, and not just their students but also to the parents and their colleagues. So that is the communicator. The teacher is the communicator. The next is the teacher as the leader. So the teacher as the leader, by guiding classrooms every day, dynamics, modeling ethics, and everything. The teacher has the authority to lead in a classroom. A teacher has also set a certain rules to be followed by his or her students every day. Then the next is the teacher as the visionary. So why is it called a visionary? Because the teacher aligns lessons with the future skills like information and technological literacy. So teachers integrate societal needs, integrating career skills and cultural heritage to prepare students for empowered futures. So that is called a visionary or a visionary teacher. The next is the teacher called as a learner, because a teacher studies every day to have a knowledge, and for her to have a knowledge to deliver information to his or her students. Then the next is the teacher as the model. Why is it called the teacher as the model? Because a teacher exemplified integrity, kindness, tolerance, and ethical behavior, influencing students' values through daily actions like fair assessments or respectful discourse on social issues. Like the students must adopt on what their teacher do. Like they are depending on their teachers. Then the next is the teacher as the collaborator. Why? Because teacher collaborate sharing resources, um, by sharing resources to their students, to their peers, or even to their colleagues. And this fosters teamwork, aligning with inclusive practices. Then next is the teacher as the risk taker. Why is it called that the teacher is a risk taker? Because a risk taker in experiment and innovative approaches like student-led tech explorations or uninterested activities. So that's the characteristics of a 21st century teacher. So, in conclusion, the 21st century teacher emerges in a dynamic facilitator, lifelong learner, and innovator who equips students with essential skills like 4 C's. And what are these? These are critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaborations, and digital literacy, adaptability, and life and career competencies for a rapidly evolving world. So that's all. Thank you for listening and for your participation in this class. And that's all. Once again, my name is Alea A. Albania. I'll be a student in North Sushatun campus.